Welcome to my wild camping one night bag packing video. So this is some tips and tricks that I've learned over the past couple of years. So this is for the gear that I carry, and the caveat is on that is that I've worked out all the things that I don't need. I've spent a little bit extra money on gear that's slightly lighter and slightly smaller, but all told, this can be applied to the gear that you've got and the gear that you want to take. So first of all, on the backpacking side of things, so in our bag we always like to think that the last things to come out are the first things to go in, but also you want your lightest things at the bottom, slightly heavier stuff in the middle, but keeping everything close to your back where possible. And then you have slightly heavier stuff at the top, once again keeping all the heavier stuff as close to your back as possible. This just helps with maintaining the load and getting good balance on your back. So this is a 55 litre backpack. So first of all, the first things that I do is I use a pack liner. This is like a dry sack pack liner, so it can cinch down. Now I'm not going to go through all of the bits and pieces that I have. This is more about how I get what I do have into the bag and comfortable for me to carry. So once the pack liner is in, like we say, last things out, so clean clothes and night clothes go right at the very bottom. Next to the last thing out is for me is my sleeping bag. Now this is a down bag, so when I push it in here I can flatten this down and get all the air out of it. Down bags are generally warmer for the weight that you carry. The only caveat with a down bag is that it's not so good when it gets wet. So anyway, down trousers, these go in next. Don't take those all the time, only really take them in the depths of winter. Then we have a foam mat and my Rab 5.5 air mat. Now this is probably kind of overkill, but I use this all year round. It's slightly heavier than others, but I've not had a problem with it. So once everything's gone in there, as you can see, without squashing it down, we're about 2/3 full. So the next thing to do, I just come to the side. The next thing I do is squeeze as much air out of this as possible. So you're going to get a lot of air come out of the sleeping bag and all of your clothes. To get the final bits out, I quite literally like to kneel on it. Whilst holding the top bits at the top. Then you can give it a cinch, squeeze, make sure everything's out, all the air's out, and then we can tighten up the dry bag together, slot it in. So you can see where that was 2/3 full, now not even a third. Okay. Next thing to go in is my plate. So this just sits at the front, in front of the clothing there. I'm experimenting with using a cool bag for my food, taking fresh food, trying to be more healthier. So in here I would have like a couple of tubs full of I've had like salads and pastas and things like that. I'll also take things to cook as well, so I've taken steak, chicken, things like that. In a cool bag is a 500ml ice water bottle that's been frozen. That just keeps some coolness into the bag. We then add have my frying pan. I have a small gas burner and gas in a 750ml pot. And in here are all my knives, forks, spoons, lighters, ferro rods, yeah, any kind of bit of paraphernalia. So that all goes into there. There's still room in there for bits and pieces, you can see. So there's not all my food in there at the moment. So remembering that my heaviest stuff is this side, so my pots and my pans. So that wants to go closest to my back. That's a perfect size for this bag. It just fills out the space quite nicely. Give it a push down and just presses everything else out. Okay, once again we're now 2/3 full from there. So the next thing that I put in is my little tent boots. They're still dirty from last night. Tent boots, and then my tent goes closest to my back. This is a Terra Nova Pioneer Compact 2. It weighs about 2 kilos. For me, it's an all-year-round tent, and the only time I would change that is if I'm doing a multi-day hike. Then I might use something smaller. And then have a bag here. This has like spare hats, gloves, bits and pieces that I might need during the day, such as like midge net, just random bits and pieces that just sits on top that I like to be able to get to pretty quickly. And then my last thing that goes in is my down jacket. So my down jacket, I just push it in to the holes around the tent and the top of the bag. Okay. So then we just do up the internal strap, give it a cinch. So you can see there, everything's nice and snug. I feel, all the air has been filled. There's no dead space in my bag whatsoever. Okay, so we'll just whip the top over. Okay. So, last few things to go in. I go into top, side and front. So in the top of my bag I have 2 dry bags. This has got my hygiene, first aid and random bits and pieces that I could need, trowels, etc. So that sits in the top. Entertainment bag, this is my book, power bank and wires. Then into there goes random snacks. More random snacks. And then we do up the top. So from that point we can then sit down to the top. Right, if I put this one in the right one. Okay. So that is now all nicely done, nicely tight. The bag is kind of solid. Remainder of the bits and pieces, so we have the water cover. So in this bag it doesn't have the hole in the slot at the bottom, so I just put this in the front. So it's somewhere where I can get it quite quickly. Sit mat, that goes in the front there as well. Obligatory can of alcohol. And my banana, because I will want that pretty quickly. Normally after about a mile or so, I will probably need a snack. That's the front. Now on the side. So in each side I have an 850ml bottle of water that goes in each side of the pack. And I try and get this so it's as close to my back as possible. That keeps the load central. So that's one on each side in the same spot. Then tent pegs go in one side and tent poles go in the other. Once again, just balances everything out. And that is it. In the summer I may also have a waterproof over jacket, and that just slips in here normally. In the winter I'm wearing like proper waterproof 3-layer clothing, so I don't take it in this time of the year. Okay, so that's everything in. Last thing to add is the obligatory mascot. So Elmo goes into his little carrying section here. It's a good job he doesn't actually have arms on bones, because he'd be dead by now. Okay, well done, Elmo. Okay, so that's everything. Just going to give you an idea of weight. So the last thing that needs to go in here is the is food. So I think there's probably about ½ kilo to a kilo of food that's remaining to go in here, but all my water and everything is in here already. So this comes in at so that came in at 11, 12, 13, 14 kilos. So add a kilo, you get about a kilo of food, I would say. About 15 kilos, which is about right for what I normally take. So that's everything. That's my backpack for one night. As I said, you may have extra things that you like to take or want to take. So a bigger backpack, 65 litre is normally about the right size. It's a good size for carrying for one night. As far as weight goes, if you can carry it, take it. For me, I like to do slightly longer distances. So just to give myself a chance, I've skimmed down as much as possible. So that's it. Thank you for watching.